So, for the last few years, AI has kind of been our creative sidekick, right? It chats with us, it writes stuff for us, it even makes images. But look, we're on the edge of a much, much bigger shift. We're going from an AI that just responds to an AI that actually acts. Welcome to the age of the AI agent. I mean, really think about that for a second. We're so used to chatbots that just spit back answers. But what if you could give an AI a really complex goal, like, hey, launch this entire marketing campaign, and it could actually figure out all the steps, use the right tools, and run the whole project by itself? Well, that's the incredible leap we're about to see. And this isn't some small incremental improvement. We are talking about a potential 40% jump in productivity. That's what some of the early analysis is showing as companies start to roll out these advanced AI agents. This isn't just another app on your phone. This is a fundamental change in how work gets done. So, what's behind this massive efficiency revolution? Well, it's a completely new way of thinking about AI, something that takes us way beyond simple chatbots. It's a whole new category of tech that people are calling Agentic AI. The key difference here is all about being reactive versus being proactive. A chatbot, it just sits there and waits for you to ask it something. An AI agent, on the other hand, you give it a goal and it goes to work, reasoning, planning, and executing, all with minimal input from us humans. Okay, so what exactly is an AI agent? Let's pop the hood and really break down its core parts to see what makes it so different from everything we've seen before. The number one word to remember here is autonomy. A chatbot is designed for a conversation. It's back and forth. It's waiting on you. But an AI agent is a workflow champion. You give it a finish line and it just starts running, connecting to different systems and making its own decisions to get the job done. So every agent has these four key parts. First, you've got the brain, which is the large language model, the LLM, giving it all its intelligence. Then you've got a memory module, which lets it store information from the past so it can learn and keep context. Third is the planning module. Think of this as its internal project manager, breaking down big, scary goals into a simple to-do list. And finally, you have the action module, which is what actually lets it use tools and APIs to get stuff done in the real world. But here's the thing. A single agent is cool, for sure, but the real power, the true game changer, is how they team up. This is where we start to get a glimpse of the workflows of the future. So the first level of this is the agent team. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a specialized project team in an office. You might have one agent that's a master at pulling data, another one that's a whiz at writing code, and a third that's an expert at interpreting the results. They all work together, each playing to its own strengths to tackle one complex job. Now, take that idea and scale it way, way up. And what do you get? An agent swarm. This is basically teams of teams coordinating on massive projects in a way that looks a lot like a big human organization. You could have one team handling R&D, another managing clinical trial data, and a third overseeing what happens after a product launch, all working in sync. And listen, this is not just some futuristic theory. These AI agents are already out there, right now, making a real impact across all kinds of industries. Let's take a look at a few examples. Over in manufacturing, for instance, a company called Global Tech is using AI agents to totally optimize its supply chain, and it's already cut their costs by 15%. In the world of pharmacology, you've got platforms that are streamlining the incredibly complex analysis of how drugs affect the body. And in robotics, these systems are improving a robot's ability to reason and interact with objects by up to 10%. Now, all of this sounds pretty revolutionary, and in a lot of ways it is. But we've got to be careful and really separate the incredible promise from where we are today. So let's ground this whole conversation in some cold, hard data. You're going to hear this marketing phrase a lot, the Agentic AI advantage. It paints this picture of proactive AI assistants just automating everything. And it's a really powerful vision, but is it the reality? Because when you look at the latest real-world data, what does it say? It gives us this number. 2.5%. What on earth could that possibly mean? Well, that is the success rate for today's absolute best AI agents when you give them a real complex freelance project and ask them to do it from start to finish. And we're not talking about simple tasks here. We're talking about projects that would take a human expert over 10 hours. On that scale, AI agents right now can only complete the job to a professional standard 2.5% of the time. So what this tells us is that the reality of agentic AI today is augmentation, not replacement. These things are incredibly powerful tools. They can be a massive force multiplier for human workers, automating pieces of a job. But they are not ready to handle an entire complex project all by themselves. Not yet, anyway. Okay, so knowing this, with the incredible potential on one side and the current limitations on the other, what's the right move for you and your organization? How do you actually prepare for this new era of human AI collaboration? All right, here's the playbook. First, you need the right infrastructure to support these systems. Second, you got to train your staff, not just on the tech, but on how to collaborate with it. Third, you absolutely need clear ethical guidelines and governance for how it's all used. And finally, and this is maybe the most important part right now, focus on automating slices of jobs, not trying to replace entire roles. That's the smart play. And that leaves us with this one big thought to wrap up. We are fundamentally shifting away from just automating individual tasks to orchestrating entire complex outcomes. This technology is here, and it's getting better incredibly fast. So the real question you need to be asking yourself isn't if you'll be working with AI agents, but how you're going to do it effectively.